In shows like Kitchen Nightmares, Hotel Hell, and Hell's Kitchen, the chef had to eat some terrible meals.
Oh, God!
While most of the time Ramsay managed to keep down his food, sometimes it just wasn't possible.
That was by any standard.
Because we are all lovers of Gordon at his most expressive, we tracked down another top 10 times when Gordon Ramsay dramatically spat out food.
I knew they'd come out quicker than they went in.
Nasty gravy.
Are you crazy?
Close the doors, put me off my dinner.
The Prohibition Grill was a once-in-a-lifetime kind of restaurant. It seemed like it had all the perfect ingredients to make the best Kitchen Nightmares stew.
Add some broth, a potato. Baby, you got a stew going.
The owner was completely clueless.
I didn't even know what the soup of the day meant. I thought that just meant what soup we were serving that day.
Plus, she also belly danced during dinner, a move that confused customers and made Gordon want to hide out of utter embarrassment.
She's just in her own world, and she thinks that everybody's loving it. And as you look around, you can tell that people are confused.
But it all went down when people complained about the gravy. First, Ramsay had the owner taste it.
The gravy tastes really gritty to me.
Then, Gordon was curious himself.
What was it made?
Gravy was made last weekend, frozen.
When Ramsay took a spoonful, he couldn't even swallow it.
Oh my God.
It's sour.
After that, the chef ordered that all plates with gravy had to be sent back immediately. This also prompted Gordon to further inspect the kitchen.
What is that there?
Raw product,
What's that there?
cooked ribs.
All in all, the kitchen was not only a mess, it was a health risk.
Whatever you're eating now, just stop. Stop.
But before we show you more of Gordon's misadventures, show us some love. Hit that subscribe button and don't miss out on more Babbletop videos. Now, back to Gordon's dramatics. Praying over the chitlins.
Are you crazy?
There is nothing on that menu that is not perfect.
Chef Shelley thought everything she did was close to perfection, while everyone around her disagreed.
I hate the macaroni and cheese. Just looks like crap on a plate.
Ramsay had his usual sample meal, and things didn't start very well.
That's bland. Nothing's seasoned there.
Which is basically like committing a sin when it comes to a soul food restaurant.
Blasphemers! Idolaters!
The collard greens weren't much better.
It's bland, no seasoning. It's just fried and soggy and limp.
Nothing was making Ramsay happy, but things were going to get even worse.
I know chitlins are being tested, but should they really stink?
In fact, Gordon was so withdrawn about eating the food that he even decided to pray.
You are prayed over. We guarantee you that you are not about to succumb to those chitlins.
Praying, though, didn't help much. It even sent shivers down Ramsay's spine.
Chitlins.
Maybe too literally, as he rushed to the bathroom.
You're not used to that soul food, huh?
Takeout room service.
Are you crazy?
Maybe it can redeem itself with the one thing every luxury hotel should have: impeccable room service.
When Gordon arrived at the Keating Hotel, he knew it was going to be trouble. The main lobby had more red than those elevators in The Shining.
That's odd. Usually the blood gets off at the second floor.
What floor are we on? We're on the second floor.
Second floor.
Every floor of this hotel had a different model car on display.
Who's obsessed with the supercars? Who is that?
The owner?
Oh, really?
The room itself looked really empty.
More like a garage in their guest room.
Plus, it had a jacuzzi tub right in the middle of the room.
These are car designers.
Correct. They are car designers.
Now they're putting jacuzzis in the middle of suites.
Gordon was absolutely losing it.
It works, though.
His only hope? That the room service would make up for all the weirdness around him. Well, it didn't.
You pay $800 a night to stay here, and you got to eat your food out of boxes and plastic containers.
The soup was barely even there. Gordon actually poured it into a cup, and it didn't even fill it all the way. The chicken slider?
That's dreadful.
The barbecue pizza? Gordon didn't even have the courage to take a bite. At least Gordon found a good use for the plastic containers.
Now I know why they got the boxes. It's a takeaway puke box.
Trouble dinner service.
Are you crazy?
Colleen and her son Kevin are having a hard time keeping up with the orders.
The classic American was in a tough spot.
She's got a baby and she can't be here. He's got a baby and I can't afford to pay him. And I need to pay my people.
The customers were getting restless and were completely unsatisfied.
Who do I have to f around here?
The waitress and the kitchen staff were fighting.
Back off, please.
Things didn't get better when the food finally started going out, though. Every customer seemed baffled by their meals. When someone complained about a sandwich with too much sauce, Gordon decided to taste it.
Take a bite of that and tell me that's normal.
Yeah, it's normal.
Don't people learn? Ramsay took a bite out of the sandwich and then promptly threw it out in the trash.
Kevin, if that's normal, you're abnormal.
Can it even get more dramatic than that? But Gordon had enough when he spotted a horrible plate of vegetables coming out of the kitchen. He actually had everyone on the staff stop and gather around him. He even had them touching it to show how horrible the consistency of that plate was.
If we are going to continue serving that, close your business.
Microwaved crepe.
Are you crazy?
Chef Ramsay would like the food because all my food is good.
Kitchen Nightmares was probably a hard show to endure for Gordon.
Then wake up! You wake up! Shut the place down! Get out of here!
But the worst part for Gordon probably was having to eat at those bad restaurants. Take what happened with La Frite, for example. First, Gordon ordered the La Frite salad.
And that's one portion. It's massive.
None of it looked good, though.
It's bland. The vinegar dressing is so... Jesus. That's so acidic.
Turns out it was a known complaint. Martin, like many chefs before him, didn't see anything wrong with the food. After the failed salad, it was time for the seafood crepe.
Basically, they take the dish, they line it with the crepes, they fill it with the items, fold it back, and then they bake it.
That puzzled Gordon. Why call it a crepe at all? The dish itself looked horrible. It also tasted horrendous.
Nah.
Gordon said it was hideous.
It's hot in parts. Like in the middle, but on the side there, stone cold.
Apparently, Chef Martin didn't care about the food anymore. When the quiche arrived, Ramsay was certain that it had been microwaved.
Where did you heat that up? Was that in the microwave?
Oven.
Didn't he know he was being recorded? Eventually, he caved in and admitted he microwaved the food.
Why do you want to lie to me? Do you want me to lie to you?
I'm not lying to you, I'm just telling you how do I do it.
Chewy Octopus.
Are you crazy?
I think Chef Ramsay's gonna come in here, order a few things, and he's gonna say they're horrible.
When Ramsay arrived at Guiseppi's, things didn't look good. Chef Sam and his father Joe were already bickering even before Ramsay ordered anything. Sam didn't even have the usual bravado most chefs in Kitchen Nightmares do.
When I saw Chef Ramsay order the octopus salad, every part of me wanted to say, we're out of it.
The salad arrived quickly on Gordon's table. Too bad that it didn't taste good at all.
Excuse me.
Meanwhile, the father and son duo were still bickering back in the kitchen. When the waitress brought another plate, Ramsay still couldn't stop thinking about the octopus.
Is that normally that chewy, that octopus?
Gordon even gave a piece to the waitress so she could try it herself. Suffice to say, she didn't look that excited to try it.
I'm like, oh my gosh, we serve this shit. I mean, basically, that's what it was. That's what it tasted like.
Mind you, that was just the first dish out of the many that Gordon had to eat. The rest of the meal did fare much better.
Yeah, would you like to try one?
No, I don't.
No.
I've had enough.
Bacon and chocolate.
Are you crazy?
Chicken under a brick, what does that actually mean?
It means it's drier than a bone.
Gordon sat down at the Keating's restaurant to sample some of their meals. Right away, things looked messy.
How would you rate the food out of 10?
6.
6.
I wouldn't serve any of our dishes to my dog.
The kitchen had another case of the chef actually not caring any more about their food. You could see it in Chef Brian's eyes. As expected, Gordon wasn't a fan of any of the food.
Brick chicken. Yeah, it looks like someone's just a brick.
But it was the dessert that left Gordon speechless.
It's a 10-inch dessert pizza. Chocolate, strawberries, bacon.
A lot of people like bacon, a lot of people like chocolate, but mixing these two together sounds like a recipe for disaster. When the pizza arrived, Gordon had enough.
It's like we've had a crisis with the toilet paper department. Someone's wiped their ass with my dough.
That wasn't his only critique, however.
I've never seen anything so f***ing unappetizing as a dessert in all my life.
The manager just looked aghast. Gordon took a bite, while some people looked on. They probably expected a big reaction out of Gordon, which he provided.
Yeah, he didn't like any of it. Not one thing.
Sushi pizza.
Are you crazy?
Gotta try the sushi pizza.
What even is a sushi pizza? Is it more like sushi or more like pizza? You could see that this order was motivated only by Gordon's morbid curiosity.
Good luck.
Good luck.
The rest of his orders were regular for a Japanese restaurant. Miso soup, sashimi, plus something called a green tower. First came the miso soup.
It doesn't taste very fresh. That's very salty, that, does that?
It is.
Yeah. Is that normal?
Next up was the green tower, which was too gray, you might say.
So is grey hair?
Then the sashimi was frozen, though the waitress didn't know it.
I guess we get lazy with our food.
Then came the main course, the star of this whole thing.
Rice, salmon, crab, and mayonnaise, some cheese.
Wow.
Gordon took a bite out of it. You should give him props for that alone. But courage doesn't do much when you're talking about the sushi pizza. He even covered the plate with a napkin, probably because he couldn't bear staring at it much longer.
An insult to Japanese culture and an insult to a pizza house.
The infamous Gumbo.
Are you crazy?
Oh,
For the first episode of Hell's Kitchen, all the chefs in the competition must prepare their signature dish for Gordon. Some might leave the chef impressed, while others will get their first taste of being savagely critiqued by Gordon. The latter was what happened with Antonia.
It's a Mardi Gras gumbo.
Oh, God. And does it normally look like a plate of liquid shit?
Antonia, on the other hand, seemed sure her gumbo was going to be a success.
Every time I make my gumbo, it always gets eaten.
Maybe she makes a better version of it at home? Gordon then had the difficult task of actually eating a little bit of the gumbo. It was his job after all.
Oh, excuse me. F***ing hell.
That's when Antonia realized she was in trouble.
Are you crazy?
Gordon then went back to the trash can again.
It's unedible.
Okay, then throw it out.
No, I'm not going to throw it out.
The food was so bad, Gordon had to share it. Ramsay passed it around and forced everyone to eat it.
Vinny, what was that tasting of?
A big bowl of mud.
Bad scallops.
Are you crazy?
You honestly can't taste that burn?
But now you point it out. Yeah.
During the first episode of the UK version of Kitchen Nightmares, Gordon had his very first encounter with poorly made food. It was the restaurant Bonapartes. Business was struggling, with sometimes only 2 customers per night.
As a last resort, she's placed all her trust in a 21-year-old head chef.
So that's my main ambition, and obviously to make a lot of money.
When Gordon observed a dinner service, he saw how inexperienced the kitchen staff were.
Signature dish.
Scallops.
Scallops. Can't wait to sit.
Gordon was expecting that the chef's true potential would be put on display. Ramsay was expecting something truly memorable that belonged on a fine dining menu. Oh, it was memorable, all right.
It's gotta be sick.
He's only gone and given me a rancid scallop.
Gordon got violently sick from them. Chef Tim didn't even realize they were rancid, which isn't a great look for a chef, to be honest.
You don't taste that?
I do now, yeah.
Gordon was feeling defeated after this experience, and very angry too.
It's grim. It's f***ing grim. And it's out of order.
Have you ever had a food so bad that you had to spit it out? What do you think of Gordon at his most dramatic? Like this video and drop a comment below.
I know what it means. I feel sick myself now.
Don't miss out on your chance to win an iPhone X. All you have to do is hit that subscribe button and the notification bell. Then click the description below to increase your odds of winning. Good luck!